Not another dime!
Not another nickel! Not another dime!
No more money for Israel's crimes!
No more money for Israel's crimes!
Not another nickel! Not another dime!
No more money for L3 Harris's crimes!
No more money for Israel's crimes!
No more money for Israel's crime.
Netanyahu, you can't hide!
Netanyahu, you can't hide.
We charge you with genocide!
We charge you with genocide!
Netanyahu, you can't hide!
Netanyahu, you can't hide!
We charge you with genocide!
We charge you with genocide!
L3 Harris, you can't hide!
L3 Harris, you can't hide.
We charge you with genocide!
We charge you with genocide.
L3 Harris, you can't hide!
L3 Harris, you can't hide.
We charge you with genocide!
We charge you with genocide.
Free, free!
Palestine!
Free, free!
Palestine!
From the river to the sea!
Palestine will be free.
From the sea to the river!
Palestine will live forever.
From the river to the sea!
Palestine will be free.
From the sea to the river!
Palestine will live forever.
I think you should know that there have been people who come up here on a weekly basis to do a witness calling on L3 workers to take in the idea of converting this business to something that sustains life rather than creates death. Today there's a Reverend Peter Kakos who thought up the sign that says L3 convert to peace work. So the employees here, at any one time there's about 200 people at work, and they've been hearing this message for the last 2 years.
Woo!
You should also know that several of us in the Leahy Fast for Palestine took a letter into the management of this company to ask them to stop shipping weapons to Israel, that the whole L3 corporation worldwide would stop sending weapons to Israel. We took that message into them in January. Of course, we didn't get an answer. The management of this company knows very well that this is an ongoing problem. It's not something that we just thought up today to be out here. And the workers know this too, and it's very, very important to understand, I think, that when the workers see this many people out here objecting to what's going on, it does have an impact. These workers are members of the International Association of Machinists and Aerospace Workers. It's probably one of the biggest unions in terms of the military industrial complex, the war industry in this country. They're in District 15, their headquarters are in Lyndhurst, New Jersey. So we're going to try to reach out to the union also about converting what's going on here to peace work. What's being made inside this factory are periscopes for submarines, Navy attack submarines, and also electro-optical targeting equipment for U.S. naval guns, like the ones that are floating around in the Mediterranean right now. The people here like to say sometimes that they're doing something to protect the United States, but actually the U.S. is on the offense, not the defense. And that's something that's not understood by the workers here and not understood by many people in this country. So your being here today is a witness for nonviolence. It's a witness to stop the killing. And it turns out that stopping the killing is one of the most revolutionary things that can be done in the world today. There are many people who feel like they're on the side of good and they want to be out killing people. We can't have that in the world anymore. We're dealing with a hurricane. It's going to kill a bunch of people in the Gulf. It's going to go on and on and on. We need to be focused on what's real rather than what's making billionaires rich.
Yes.
And they need to step back and realize that this world does not belong to them. It belongs to the people. And so I always sometimes say, who has the power? We have the power. Who has the power?
We have the power.
Who has the power?
We have the power.
Hi everyone, my name is Eve. I'm a member of Jewish Voice for Peace, Western Mass. I'm not usually a big rally speaker, but I thought I would speak today to share a strong message of solidarity from JVP. Free Palestine, divest from genocide, end all militarism and imperialism. And I just want to say that, as Jewish Voice for Peace, we know that a lot of these investments in Israeli militarism, apartheid, and genocide are made in the name of quote-unquote Jewish safety. So I want to say extremely clearly that any notion of safety that's brought about through weapons, surveillance, fortress borders, walls, confinement, and carcerality can never actually be safety. It is oppression, pure and simple. Whether in Palestine or on the US-Mexico border or by US police departments, we see in L3 Harris how all of these struggles are deeply intersecting because they make surveillance technology that spans across all of these violent sites of domination. As Palestinian scholar Nadine Neighbor says, the oppressors make the connections for us. So the only way towards true collective safety and flourishing is by coming together in solidarity, knowing deeply that our freedom and well-being are inextricably bound together. And I'm really glad to be here with you all, putting that principle into action today. Free Palestine.
Free
Thank you.
Palestine.
All right, Eve of JVP. Oh my God, you guys have been such incredible leaders, nationally, globally, and in Western Mass. So I'm Jen Scarlett. I'm a member of Demilitarized Western Mass. And I just wanted to take a moment to read to you guys a very brief few sentences from a man named Craig McIver, who may be a familiar name to you. He was a very high official with the UN Human Rights Commission, and he resigned very early in December in protest of the UN's inaction on the genocide in Gaza. For the Zionist trolls saying I should, quote, go to Gaza as if it's a curse, I've been there, starting in 1988 and many times since. I actually lived there for 2 years. Even under brutal occupation, it was one of the most wonderful societies I have ever experienced. Extraordinarily warm, deeply moral, highly educated, uniquely sophisticated in philosophy and politics. A rich culture rooted in centuries of connection with the land. The music, the dance, the food, the hilarious sense of humor of the Palestinian people, and their courage and steadfastness were all deeply imprinted on me. And yes, I will return to a free Palestine, to sit on the beach in Gaza, drink sweet tea, smoke apple tobacco in the nargila, and celebrate this ancient culture flourishing on its ancient land. So thanks for the wish.
Thank you, Jennifer. I'd like to read a statement that gets a little bit more into the whole idea of divestment. We are dying here at the Northampton plant of the 9th largest weapons maker in the world, L3 Harris Technologies. We're here to make a point to the leaders of this corporation that this plant is part of and enabling, profiting from genocide against the Palestinian people. And this genocide has killed at least 38,000 people, people just like us. We are dying here calling for individuals, governments, academia, pension funds, all institutions to divest from L3 Harris stock and the stock of other weapons makers, because it is down to us, the U.S. citizens, to do all that we can to stop this genocide.
Yes.
Woo! Woo!
Indeed, leaders of Congress are shoving their support for genocide into our faces by inviting Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to address the U.S. Congress on July 24th Another day that will live in infamy. As reported in the Hampshire Gazette, Amherst College officials, like those at Smith College and the University of Massachusetts Amherst, have refused to divest from weapons makers, supping on Palestinian blood. The letter announcing Amherst's decision that the school will not sell its bloody stock and that the outcome of events, which the letter did not say what events there were, they have no courage about the events of genocide. They said that all these events will be shaped not by our investment decisions, but by the decisions of governments across the world. Fortunately, individuals and institutions divested from stock in companies supporting the apartheid regime of South Africa in the 1980s, not waiting for decisions of government across the world to end apartheid. Now, South Africa is being joined by 12 other governments accusing Israel of genocide in Gaza at the International Court of Justice. Ironically, Amherst President Michael Elliott, who was among those signing the letters announcing the school would refuse to divest, he authored a book titled Custerology, which his Amherst profile says explores how George Armstrong Custer and the Indian Wars continue to be a powerful symbol of America's violent past and a crucial key to understanding the nation's present. This is the head of Amherst College, a student of George Custer, who's refusing to divest from the slaughter in Gaza. We have a handout that gives addresses for the presidents of these schools and phone numbers for members of Congress. I don't know if I have enough handouts, but if you want one, we must write letters, including to our local newspapers. So thank you very much.
Yeah. Woo, woo.
I'm going to ask Peter Kakos to say a few things, because he's been out here with this L3 Convert to Peacework sign for the last 2 years, and so he ought to have, as a former and still active Methodist minister, congregational,
Well, we love the Methodists.
lay the message on us, Peter.
Yeah, thank you, Nick. And everyone, let's have an amen for Nick and all that he does in his leadership. Amen, everyone? Amen to Nick. One of the reasons I'm here today is on the eve of Independence Day in America is to remember the British oppressors who kept down people trying to live a decent way of life, and rose up and created a revolution and overthrew the British. And here we are today, 200 odd years later. The British are still oppressing. They're in league with the United States to support, to fund, to equip Israel, to continue to massacre wholesale thousands of people. And I dare say that number now must be over 100,000, folks. When you consider the number of wounded who are not getting a care, anesthesia, water, anything to help them, most of them, I imagine, are not going to make it. And yet people under the rubble, how many thousand, God only knows. So we have a situation now where, just as our forebears stood up to the British oppressors, we are standing up to the 21st century oppressors,
Yes.
which is America, which is Britain, and the Israeli Defense Force, and its savage leadership. It's the only way to put it, huh? Leadership that I feel won't be content until there is no more Gazans left And I know our JVP people have used the expression, this in Gaza is the penultimate genocide. The ultimate will be the West Bank. So here we are, we're standing up to the powers that be abroad, within us, among us, to say to them and Elfrey Harris, as my friend's t-shirt says, enough is enough. Thank you very much. God bless.
I want to say that I see someone holding a baby down at the end there, and what we're out here for me, I'm 85 years old. I've got 10 grandchildren and 6 great-grandchildren, 7 on the way now, number 7. And I'm out here because I don't want to see this world constantly at war, constantly just totally wasting everything so that very, very wealthy people can get what they want. I'm sorry to have to break it down to something so simple as that, but that's what's happening. Biggest contributions to Donald Trump from military contractors came from Lockheed Martin and Raytheon. They gave more to him than they gave to Biden. So we see that war is on the agenda. We want it off the agenda.
Why not?
Now, it's going to take a lot to break through the shell, the invisible shield protecting the United States from reality that's going on in the rest of the world. Jennifer Scarlett is part of Demilitarized Western Massachusetts, and she's decided that she wants to take a very dramatic step to help people wake up to what's going on and realize that we're not living in normal times, and we can't keep trying to shovel normal times over the atrocities that we're seeing. So Jennifer, would you like to explain what you're going to do?
Thank you, Nick. So, in solidarity with the people of Gaza and the West Bank who are suffering beyond imagination, and in appreciation of all of you friends who are lying down in this uncomfortable heat today, I have been contemplating and have decided today to go through with an act of physical solidarity with the women of Gaza, which is something that many of them are doing because of the lack of water and the lack of ability to keep their hair clean. And of course, the first thing that was done to prisoners in Nazi concentration camps was to shave people's heads, as we all know so well. So I am going to cut my hair. I'm not going to shave it off completely, but I'm going to cut it super short. I do this also in solidarity with the amazing Gazan journalist Bisan Auda, who many of you probably know and follow every day. She's an amazing 24, 25-year-old woman who has been reporting to us from Gaza through every day of the genocide. She has had to evacuate and move, I think, 12 or 15 times now. In the past couple days, her reports from Gaza have been increasingly despairing. She's been an amazingly optimistic, hopeful, and even joyous person through the worst of the worst that humanity can do to each other. But in the last couple days, she has been saying she's not sure she can go on, saying she's going to give up trying to find yet another safe place. She's going to stay where she is in Al-Mawasi and Khan Yunis, and whatever happens will happen. She also just cut her hair off for the second time, which is, she says, a real hardship for her because she loves her hair very much. She has a beautiful mane of curly brown hair. So in solidarity with that incredible young woman, I will cut my hair as well, and I'll do some of it and then ask maybe a friend to join me and help me. And if there are any women who, sorry, laughter is not really appropriate, but on the spur of the moment would like to join me, I have a pair of scissors here. And they're cutting the hair of their children as well.
Gaza live.
So for everybody who's lying down, can't see up this way, Jennifer is having all her hair cut off, and this is symbolic of the reality going on for people in Gaza and the West Bank. And it's a way to shock our fellow humans in this country.
Oh,
Please, go ahead.
I'm gonna lay down my sword and shield down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. I'm gonna lay
You've got it
down
completely wrong.
my
I'm
sword and
incredibly grateful to
shield
you.
down
But really,
by
there's
the
nobody in the country who done this yet.
riverside.
Having a nice
I ain't gonna study war no more. 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 Ain't gonna study war no more.
I'm gonna lay down that atom bomb
Down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. I'm gonna lay down that bomb. Down by the riverside, study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. 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 Thank you so much.
The West Bank may be the next Gaza. That's what my friends in the West Bank are saying that they think will happen. There are already signs of it beginning to happen. So this is what our government is supporting. We all are here because of that. To think of the West Bank as suffering to the degree that they really anticipate that they will be bombed next. And of course we all know that, and they all know, that what's happening in Gaza is all intentional, all the life lost, all the lack of resources, 21,000 disappeared children that nobody knows where they are. It goes on, we all know some of those tragic stories. So it's good that we're here. We need to be here as much as possible and everywhere. And I bless the students. All the Palestinians I've met with know the student activists are out there, and they really are so grateful. So they're grateful for all that we do, and of course, they wanted to stop yesterday. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Cheryl. Are you going to be sharing any more stories, replays around, or tell us about?
Nothing is planned yet. If anyone wants to organize a talk, I would be happy to do it.
Okay, if anybody wants to organize a talk, they can speak to Cheryl.
And there will be one in Greenfield.
And there will be one in Greenfield. Thank you.
It's wonderful, everybody, all of us together. L3 Harris, one of the top 10 weapons manufacturers in the world with profits in the billions, sells its deadly products to the U.S. and other countries waging wars, engaging in military operations or in human rights violations. Here in Northampton, they make submarine vision systems and other optical technologies for the Navy. L3's bloody work has facilitated police brutality, border surveillance, climate destruction, militarism, and wars the world over. But today we are here at the local plant of L3 Harris performing a die-in order to call out L3 Harris for participating in Israel's genocide of tens of thousands of Palestinian children, women, and men, whole families, whole universes being wiped out as we speak. L3 has blood on its hands, and it's breaking the Leahy Law, which prohibits the U.S. assistance to governments committing gross human rights violations. We demand that they stop shipping weapons to Israel.
Yes!
Under the guise of innovation, optimism, hope for the future, scientific challenge, the excitement of discovery, and the endless ideas to explore, L3, whose CEO, Chris Kubasik, calls the trusted disruptor. The trusted disruptor of the industry. Think about that. The trusted disruptor. Are you kidding me? You can't make this stuff up. It supplies weapons technology and surveillance and technology to Israel to disrupt and dismantle Palestinian society and dismember its people. Disruptor indeed. This is immoral and it's wrong. This die-in is an effort to remind L3 Harris employees of what the end products of the efforts of their minds and muscle actually do. Our ultimate goal is for L3 Harris to shut down or to convert their innovation and engineering prowess to piecework, which our world desperately needs. We must imagine how to transform a war economy built on genocide and destruction that sustains and enhances profit to one that sustains and enhances life. This is a long transition. Stopping the violence is the first step. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg. Is there anybody who is lying down, way down there, who would like to speak? That's the long-suffering end of the crowd down there. So everybody, I want to thank you all for being here today. What we do, it almost seems like it couldn't make any difference. But it really is a form of prayer that we do when we come out. And we don't understand always the spiritual content of the world. But that's not our job to figure that out. Our job is to be a witness for peace and see what happens as a result of that. So thank you all for coming, and we'll see you next time. I should say that every Wednesday morning from 6:30 to 7:15, there are some of us who stand out here, let's say, encouraging the employees as they come to work to convert to peace work. So if you say, well, I've got nothing to do between 6:30 a.m. and 7:15, I might as well go to L3, please do join us then.
We'll be out there tomorrow morning.
Hello, beautiful people. Thank you for being here and being part of this die-in in such terrible times, but coming together helps us be stronger. This is an old song that is a little bit of a change in the melody, but hopefully you'll recognize it. Solidarity Forever. Please join in on the chorus if you would like. When the movement's inspiration through the people's blood shall run, there can be no power greater anywhere beneath the sun. Yet what force on earth is weaker than the feeble strength of one? But the movement makes us stronger. Solidarity forever. Together we are Solidarity forever for the movement. It makes us stronger. In our hands is placed a power greater than their hoarded gold, greater than the might of armies magnified 1,000-fold. We can bring to birth a new world from the ashes of the old, for the movement makes us stronger. Solidarity forever. Together we are resilient. Solidarity forever for the movement. It makes us stronger. Solidaridad para siempre. Juntos somos más fuertes. Solidaridad para siempre. El movimiento nos fortalece.
Oh, thank you so much. I should say that there's another opportunity to be out here with somebody who's constantly here. On Monday afternoons at 4:30, there's a person who dresses in a death head mask like the Grim Reaper and holds a sign up saying this is a factory sending weapons to Israel. So if you want to come out in the afternoon, it's Monday afternoon, 4:30 to 5:30 or 6, and I'm sure you would appreciate it. So,
from Northampton to Palestine!
From Northampton to Palestine!
Stop the U.S. war machine!
Stop the U.S. war machine!
From Northampton to Palestine!
From Northampton to Palestine!
Stop the U.S. war machine!
Stop the U.S. war machine!
From the river to the sea!
From the river to the sea!
Palestine will be free!
Palestine will be free!
From the sea to the river!
From the sea to the river!
Palestine will live forever!
Palestine will live forever!
From Northampton to Palestine!
From Northampton to Palestine!
Stop the U.S. war machine!
Stop the U.S. war machine!
From Northampton to Palestine!
From Northampton to Palestine!
Stop the U.S. war machine!
Stop the U.S. war machine!
From the river to the sea!
From the river to the sea!
Palestine will be free!
Palestine will be free!
From the sea to the river!
From the sea to the